Hi everyone, welcome to In Vegas TV. Subscribe to this channel for more videos.
Hello everyone, welcome to Newspaper Review on N Vegas TV. My name is Ifel, you are Olorun Tiwa. Here at this headlines. The Nation. Our federal government plans to utilize fresh foreign loans. The Nigerian Tribune. APC. Cloud over convention. Aggrieved members fail to shift ground. The Punch. INEC lists COP members to conduct direct primaries. Vanguard. Children's school without books as cost of paper hits the roof. High cost of paper remove books from students' bags. 60-gram paper now 10,500 from 5,100. Card for cover now 17,800 from 6,000. Remove import duty on paper, publisher says. Writers now publish abroad. Removing duty on paper may not be solution. We need to firm up our currency, says federal government. That is all on today's headline. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What is your name? What is your own take on the price of paper, printing cost, which hits the roof?
It's just the price is just too much. Thank God I'm a partner to them because I deal with stationaries. I don't know what our government can do because let us start from the stationery. The price always increase every time the children are about to resume. Are we not producing the books here? That's number one. Then two, the school fees is the price is increasing as well as the textbooks. What is the benefit of our government? Because they're supposed to be relating with the publishers. The way the publishers are increasing the price of the books, I don't know, maybe this is the fault of the raw materials, I don't know, but our government is supposed to do something. They're supposed to complement the effort of the parents, because the parents too, apart from paying the school fees, they will also pay for their textbook. And after the student graduates, there's no job. The money they are even spending on the project during graduation is even more than the school fees, and the cost of the textbooks is even more than the school fees. Our government is supposed to complement the effort of the parents and do something in order to make this environment enabling for people to live, because the students we are looking at, they are leaders of today. It is another day that said the children of today are leaders of tomorrow. Now is their own time. They supposed to make the environment enabling for them to live, and they can do that by relating with the publishers, to dialogue with them and see what can be done to make the environment conducive for the children.
Okay, sir, let me ask this. The free basic education policy is to make education free, that is provision of textbooks in core subjects free for schools. Especially, let me use Lagos as an example. Lagos made the provision for the last 7 years ago. What about another state? What can you say about Ondo State? Is there any available textbook available in the schools that students make use of?
When we are comparing Lagos State with other states, we are just deceiving ourselves. The other states have their plan. Look at Lagos State. Since the inception of even our country Nigeria, since the time of late Mobolaji Johnson, they are following the same trend. But in other states, let us put politics aside. There may be there's no stability of any political parties. Even in Lagos State, there was a time NRC was the governor. Even all other people in the House of Assembly, they are SDP during 1991 to 1993, during Otedola's period. But the question we're supposed to deliberate on is, did other states have any structure? A governor may be doing something. Immediately another opposition party comes in, produce the governor. Instead of continuity, they will change the structure in order to suit themselves. We're supposed to love ourselves. This free education supposed to be sustained. For example, now Ondo State is known for largest producer of cocoa. Even in the world, we are told Ondo State have a stock of bitumen that have not been tapped. And Ondo State too is a civil service state. There's no industry. Assuming there's industry and there's PPP, public-private partnership, something like that can be sustained. But for now, is it the state that is paying 30% for the civil servant that will now be telling they should be supplying textbooks to the students? I believe if there is collaboration between the private enterprise and the government, something can be done. But presently, there's nothing like that.
I think basically the economic challenge of the country generally, the government is experiencing revenue challenges, you understand, and also the cost of goods and prices are rising due to global economic challenges when it comes to supply, production and all that. So as the case may be, I would advise that we should start looking at technology, you understand, as a way of facing this problem. You understand, some of these materials can be put into technological forms, into digital forms. You understand, the world is going digital. I get it now. So children need to start getting themselves exposed to digital tools at a very small age. So the government should invest in technology, the private sector and other stakeholders in the educational sector, they should invest in digital technologies. That is the way forward now. With pamphlets, with PCs, small PCs and other tools, you can train people, you can teach people. Now schools are now using digital interactive platforms for learning. The world is now a global village, you understand, so technology can play a role. We are not taking out the place of paper production and all that, but technology should be heavily deployed, you understand, so that we can reduce the amount of money we spend on paper, you understand. The same knowledge we are looking for on paper, you can also get it on a technological platform, you understand. Our children can now access to global teachers, you understand. I think even with the 5G technology now, you can train somebody anywhere in the world with the aid of technology. So I want Nigerians to start looking at how technology can take the role of paper, you understand. We can't continue to produce paper all the time. We should look at how technology can bridge or balance the gap, you understand, in how we can get our children educated. So we should embrace technology, and technology will be a way out, a way forward.
Okay, the free basic education policy is to make education free, that is provision of textbooks in core subjects free for schools. Lagos, for example, made provision for that in the last 7 years. What do you think about the other states that doesn't involve in that?
That is it. Lagos State sees the value of education. You understand? They feel that education is a basic right. Because if you have an educated citizenry, it will impact on development of that state. You understand? It's an investment for tomorrow. But many other states in Nigeria, they are not taking education serious. So that's why you have a rate of underdevelopment, crime, insurgency and all that. So any state in Nigeria, though I know some states in the north like Borno and a few states, they are now investing in education. I commend them for that, you understand. But other states should also follow suit. Education is the biggest legacy or foundation you can give any society. An educated society will always be a productive or a prosperous or a developed society. So other states should emulate Lagos. If they are not doing well, they should look inwards and they begin to make changes, you understand. Education is the biggest investment any nation can make. Without education, no nation can develop. Everything you see around us is a product of education. So other states should emulate Lagos, and other frontline states are investing in education, because the returns on investments are always massive. You reduce crime, you get your children productive and a lot, the society becomes advancing for that, you understand? The development of every society is hinged around education. So let's get our children educated and our country will be better for it.
Children are supposed to be looked after, majorly the education. What do you think that the government can do to stop the hike in price of books so easily to access for the students?
Yes, it's two ways. Yes, the government can intervene by providing waivers for importers. Our paper mills should also be resuscitated. Domestic production should be encouraged, you understand? We should not have the habit of always importing. Then on the long run too, technology should also be improved, you understand? Technology is the in thing now, digital technology. Those books, whatever content is inside, can be replaced in a technology platform, you understand? And technology also saves cost, you understand? Because when you continue to produce books here and here, you are incurring a lot of cost. But with technology in place, you can reduce the amount spent on producing books and all that, you understand? So let us have a balance in place. Let technology be introduced, and also government to encourage local production of books, materials, and understand the cost of producing Nigeria may be on the high side. So infrastructure, incentives, and so many things should be put in place to encourage that. But I will advise that technology should now play a role in education, in so many, even in healthcare, in so many sectors of the society. Technology should drive that. Then when you drive that, you'll be able to achieve more with less. That's what technology offers us. So I think that should be a way for technology, then good policies and programs to ensure that everything is balanced and we all move forward and make progress as a nation. So that is just
my own take is that, you know, what happens in this country, whatever the government do normally affect everybody. So my own take is that it was government that caused all this thing.
What do you mean by government is the one that caused everything? Can you expatiate on that, sir?
What I'm saying is that as a producer and as a publisher, whatever they buy, whatever we buy now, by the time we want to go to the market to buy it and another time, the price will be increased. And I believe that these people, whatever they buy, that's what they also use to produce the book. So I believe the price already increased every day. So that was it. They also increase the price of the food and the book that they publish. So what I'm thinking is that it's not the fault of the publisher nor the parent, but it's the government that causes everything in this country. That causes.
Children are supposed to be looked after, majorly their education. What do you think that can solve the hike in price of books for easy access?
Okay, so it's unfortunate that we don't have good government. If you look at the other country, they're supposed to personalize education, but in this country now, the education costs factor. They are the one that costing more than other sector in this country. By the time you compare the private university with the government one, now you can see the difference. Look at what is happening in those states here, in Unimed, another one like that, other institution like that. So we don't have a responsible government. The government is supposed to take care of the education sector. If you look at even the budget, they didn't take care of education. So what I'm saying is that when the people are clamoring that these things are costly, they're supposed to listen to the people and make sure they do the politics that will benefit the life of the student.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What is your name?
My name is Engineer Kamalafe.
What is your own take on the price of paper printing cost, which eats the roof?
If the price of papers eating the roof, I think we look at federal government policies. Federal government policies are making cost of products very expensive. Look at the price at which you are buying petrol per liter, gas per liter. Now, even NEPA bills, they still increase it. So at the end of the day, these are things that you need for cost of production. So they will surely affect it. And as far as I'm concerned, federal government need to sit up. It's not by increasing prices of all these things that will make them out front. It's pure management. In the old days, you can see what happened under Awolowo. How much are they gaining then? That they created free education in the West, and other regions cannot do it. This is why some people are clamoring for restructuring. Let Nigeria restructure. Some regions cannot be managing their area and now the same set of people want to continue ruling Nigeria perpetually, then Nigeria can never make any progress. It's not a cause. Nigeria can never make any progress. The most backward regions in Nigeria want to continue ruling. Let's restructure Nigeria and let every region, there will be competition, every competition. I don't know who is afraid of restructuring. No, not I won't say I don't myself. Is the call northwest and northeast. They are the people afraid of restructuring. If they know they are not afraid, then let Nigeria be restructure and let everybody compete at their own pace. What I'm seeing successive governments from those areas are doing is they are transporting or importing, they were all Nigerians, transporting poverty from the areas to the south. That's the way I look at it.
My sister, what I will say concerning that is that there's an adage that say that when the head is rotting, shake the down. Let me put it this way. These governments on ground, they are not performing at all. APC governments, they are not performing. They have been to us a political of hoity-toity. Let me put it this way. In First and Second Republic, even them that are in government, rather, they enjoy the dividend of education, which is free education. Minister of Education Adamu cannot come out boldly and tell us this government is doing free education for the people. No, the governors cannot come out that in their state that they are doing free education. They collected money. Imagine if they said JSS1, SS3 are doing WAEC and NECO, that they are paying for them. Calculate the number of students that are in JSS1 and JSS2 that have paid for school fees, and they will be deceiving us that the government have paid some of amount of money for the students in SS3 for their WAEC and NECO. It's propaganda. It's barbaric. They should give the students what they ought to have given to them. They should give to them the dividends they ought to have been given. It is there you can say okay, they are performing. It's not maybe they sit on our economy, they sit on our location, they squander it. Their children are well fed, their children are well educated, but the minority are being suffered. It's not good, because when you fail to perform your oversight function, God is there, that is recording everything. It's going to judge. I will advise this government to shun the political of hoity-toity. Imagine those things. This government is not performing at all. I will urge the Nigerian citizen, even with the youth, we have the power. This is our fingerprint, it's our power. We should know the type of leader we should elect in forthcoming elections. That's my take, sir.
This is where we call it a wrap on today's edition of Newspaper Review on NVegas TV. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at NigerVegas TV. Till next time, have a lovely week.